Today we're gonna go over data types. So first of all, we have a type of data. We have text or character strings. We have numeric data. We have sequence. We have mapping, and we have Boolean. The respective Python type for each of those. We have a string for text data type. For numeric data type, we have integers. We have float, and we have complex numbers. For sequence data type, we have list, which those should be in brackets. As you guys can see right here, we have numeric data within a list, and in this case, we have string data within a list. We have tuples. Those are within parentheses, and the same thing here. We have numeric data between parentheses, and we have string data between parentheses. Then we have mapping, which the Python data type for that is a dictionary. And then I have an example right here. I have the first one, uh, have a name, and I have the respective data is a string. The name is Max. Then I have age, and then we have a integer numeric data type, which is 29. And then I have the same on the second line. In this case, the dictionaries go between curly brackets. So always make sure dictionaries, curly brackets, tuple parentheses, and list brackets. And then we have Boolean types, which is either true or false. We're gonna go over in Visual Studio Code. We're gonna see how to do data type conversions, and we're gonna see using the type function from Python to see these specific Python type names. We're gonna go over how to go from integer to float, how to go from a string data type to a numeric data type, and all that. So let's go ahead and open Visual Studio. Here in Visual Studio, let's go ahead and create a file. New file, I'm just gonna name it data types, and the extension will be a Python notebook. So let's go ahead and add a markdown. I will just gonna say data types. Let's add a code line afterwards. So let's define the first one. We're gonna see strings. So let's define a variable, first name equal max. For string data types, we either use double quotes or single quotes. So let's just check the data type. We should be able to get a string as the output in this case. So let's go ahead and run the code. And as we can see, we have a string data type. So let's go ahead and add one more line of code. Let's do numeric data types. So I'm just gonna say numeric. Let's do my age, and then let's say this one will be an integer, and then let's do float, a float type. I'll say my height equal to, I'll say 169 centimeters. So let's go ahead and print those two data types. Let's just do print my type, my age. Let's just add a escape sequence just to jump on the second line. And let's do the same thing for my float data type. Type my height So once we run this code, this first variable right here should output integer, and then the second one should be a float data type. So let's go ahead and run it. And as we can see, we have integer and float. Let's do one for a list and one for Boolean types. All right. So this one will be for list. Then we have, let's say, favorite fruits. Then remember that for list, we have to use brackets. And then if we're using string data types, we have to use single or double quotes. And if we're using integers or floats, just make sure you either specify by adding a decimal to be a float numeric data type. So let's do mango, comma, apple, and let's do one more. Let's do watermelon. Let's print the data type, fruit. And as we can see, we have a data type list. Let's do the last one, a Boolean data type. So let's do Boolean. Let's say if I wear glasses. Wear glasses, let's just say this is false. So if I do print type wear glasses, this should output bool as a data type. And as we can see, we have a Boolean data type. So now what happened? Let's do some mathematics operations. Let's just say math operations. Let's define x to be an integer. So x equal to 8. Let's define y to be a float number. So let's do 45.2. So based on this, x is an integer and y is a float. But what happens if I do c equal x plus y? And then if I do print type c, what do you guys think should I be expecting for the data type for c? In this case, the output will be a float number. So let's also print the value for c. Let's run it. And as we can see, 53.2, and then we have that the data type is a float number. Now what happened if I want to convert that number to a different data type? Let's say in this case, let's do data type conversions. So let's say I define c equal to double quotes, I will do 49.0. In this case, even though I'm typing a number, since that specific number is between double quotes or single quotes, that would be a text data type. So in this case, it's a string. And if I do, let's do x2 equal to 4, which is an integer, and let's do y3 equal to x2 plus c. Since x2 is an integer and c is a text, when I run this, I should be expecting an error. So let's go ahead and run it. See, it says unsupported operand types, integer and string. So we cannot operate this equation because the data types are not the same. In this case, these two are not numeric. So in order to do the conversion, let's just add one more step in between. So that'll be c equal to, let's convert the string to numeric into a float. Let's do float. So I use the float built-in function from Python to do the conversion. Now, once I run this code again, this should convert my string data type to a float data type, and those two can be added together, and therefore my output should be a float data type. So let's do print y3 to see the actual output, and let's do print type y3. Let's see what happened when we run this. There we go. Now it's working. We have a float type 53.0, and then we have the type which is float, which is where we were expecting since we did the conversion from a string to float. All right, so let's do one quick thing for booleans. So let's do boolean operators. So let's define x equal to 3 less than 5. Let's do print x, and let's do print type of x. So in this case, we're using a comparison. So if 3 is less than 5, that's true. So once we print x, we should be expecting true. And once we print type of the x variable, we should be expecting to be a Boolean type. Let's go ahead and run the code. Oh, we have unexpected indentation error. Oh, let's just delete this. Let's run it again. There we go. We have true, and then we have class type Boolean. All right, so that'll be all for this video. I will see you guys in the next video. We're probably gonna go over some operations for algebraic comparison and Boolean, and we will see how that goes.